Welcome, folks. This is Pablo with another episode of Unprecedented Podcast. And as promised, a new podcast, a new episode. This episode is going to be a little different because we try to give you a variety of things, right? So you don't get bored, so you don't see the same old, same old. And so this episode is going to be dedicated to, liberal conservative, right? We elected a president to do certain things. That's why President Trump won by a landslide. That's why he won every different category you can think of, whether it was men, women, whether it was battle states, whether it was the popular vote, everything, right? So he basically beat Kamala Harris in every category that you can think of. And so that being said, we elect him to do certain things that he ran on. He ran on strengthening our borders, the immigration process, the immigration machine, right? That you kind of mentioned immigration and it's one word, but it is so many different things, right? And the Democrats made such a big mess of it. And you wonder to yourself, how are we going to fix it? Well, so far, they are doing a good job, in my opinion, in my eyes, and in the eyes and in the opinion of a lot of people around the country, right? On immigration so far, they're doing a good job. Not just him, the people that he nominated, the people that he put into place to do these jobs, right? Thomas Homan, everybody from the Border Patrol to Homeland Security to ICE has come together really to do an amazing job so far. And it has only just begun. So far in immigration, he's doing a great job, I think. And a lot of people think the same. And we can talk about the economy. The economy is another huge machine, right? The American economy. The biggest economy in the free world. In the world. Put plainly. And so we are still that, right? We still have one of the biggest economies in the world, but we have issues that were not caused by this president, that was not caused by this administration, that was left to this administration to fix. And it is a huge task. And so I say that to say that the left, the liberals, the Democratic Party is going to have all these negative opinions to say about it. And they're going to have negative opinions, and this is the ironic part about this. They're going to have negative opinions on something that the Democrats left a mess. Good Uncle Joe giving everything away. Come, get here somehow, some way. We're going to give you free stuff. Now, that was one of the components of the economy being a disaster. Another disaster that is very popular, that everybody's talking about, it's on everybody's lips, is tariffs. This whole tariff thing. And I'm not going to sit up here and lie and talk about, I know all about tariffs, the ins and the outs, the dynamics, forget it, I'm not going to try to say that word. But, the little things, the nuances when it comes to tariffs. No, I'm not going to give you a lesson on that because I need a lesson myself. But here's one thing I do know, and that has become clear since President Trump took office, is countries have been taking advantage of our kindness. And even more so under the Biden-Kamala regime. And all the way back to Obama, yes. We were taken advantage of. These countries didn't pay us what they had to pay us. Right? They charged us incredible, ridiculous amount for us to ship, but we were charging them next to nothing. And all these countries took advantage of the weak presidents that we had prior to President Trump. And that had to stop. And President Trump is stopping it. And again, there's no easy fix to this, right? The economy will fluctuate. Wall Street will do what Wall Street does. Panic, scream, the sky's falling. But I wholeheartedly believe that it will come around under this president. What else? Going back to immigration, all the hoopla, all the negative and false information the mainline media, the mainstream media has been feeding folks. Fear-mongering, false information, photo ops, taking things out of context that the president might have said, that his press secretary might have said, that Tom Homan might have said, and just turning around and spinning it to make the liberals look and sound like they're right, the woke group sound like they're right, and just trying to stir up dissension, fear, and just stir up the pot when it comes to that subject, right? And that's why it's important for us to stay informed, educated, and not just take a 5-second clip as gospel, right? We need to see the whole video, the whole movie, read the whole book before we decide and go screaming and say, you know, the sky's falling again. And so, but having said all that, I want you to know that I'm not just following President Trump blindly. No, that's not what I do. Nope. That's not what I do. I'm not part of the herd. I'm not one of the sheep, if you will. No. I want to see results. No matter who's up there. No matter who's in the White House. I want to see results. I don't want a whole bunch of smoke and mirrors. I don't want a horse and pony routine. I want real, concrete results. And if you look around, again, like I said in the beginning of this, there are some solid results. There are some numbers that we can track when it comes to a lot of the things that President Trump ran on. Immigration being one of them. The economy being another, right? Fighting for average middle class Americans. Putting America and Americans first. Well, guess what? If you look around, you are seeing that. And here's another thing. Just because I voted for President Trump and I am agreeing with all the initiatives that he's put into place, all the people that he's put into place to carry these initiatives out, and his agenda, doesn't mean that I'm not going to question something if I think that it's wrong. And here's what I'm paying attention to. Okay, his cabinet, the people that he's put into place to carry out his agenda are doing a good job so far. But I want to see the same energy, for example, if it's Elon Musk that does something that I don't think is culture. If I see that any one of his cabinet had done something that is not culture, I want them to be held accountable. Yes, I want them to have the same energy from somebody from their group, from their cabinet, from their constituency that they're having for the Democrats, the liberals, the woke people. And so that's one thing that I'm paying attention. And that's how you don't become part of the herd. That's how you use your discernment. You don't just follow blindly. You know, like a sheep to the slaughter. You question things. That's why God gave us a mind. That we can make our own decisions. That we can use our own discernment. That we can distinguish between right and wrong. And so that is what I'm paying attention to. Not just that I'm agreeing with what he's doing. He's doing a great job. I think the energy in his cabinet and among the people that he put in place in his cabinet is great. Love all their energy. But I want to see the same energy when one of them mess up. When it's a Republican senator. When it's a Republican governor. When it's a Republican congressman. When it's somebody from his cabinet that's dear and close. Oh, you're going to have that same energy. So pay attention, folks. And don't just follow like part of the herd. Don't be just another sheep led to slaughter. Pay attention. If you pay attention and you stay alert, you will learn a lot of things. And so this is Pablo once again from Unprecedented Podcast, and I'm signing off. See ya.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to the Unprecedented Podcast. Here, we challenge the status quo and explore the unfiltered truths from the shadows of societies. We're not afraid to tackle what's often left unsaid. Each episode, we bring you thought-provoking conversations, revealing stories and expert insights that will make you rethink everything you thought you knew. Join us as we shine a light on the unseen. Join us as we shine a light on the unheard and the unimaginable, with special guests and unique perspectives. We dive deep into the topics that others shy away from. Here, we challenge the status quo. So, if you're ready to step into the conversation that everyone else is avoiding, hit subscribe and join us on this journey through the unprecedented.
Let's talk about it.